What if Christian Parker's arrival just reshaped the Cowboys' entire free agency board? With a new defensive coordinator in place, Dallas' priorities may be changing fast, and names like Reed Blankenship and Singleton are suddenly in the spotlight. Some believe Parker's scheme demands specific skill sets that could push the Cowboys to make aggressive signings, while others think the team will still play it safe financially. Which free agents actually fit Parker's vision, and who might be left behind? One surprising connection between Parker's system and these targets suggests Dallas could be planning a much bigger defensive overhaul than expected. Cowboys Nation, this one is big because the Dallas Cowboys just made a move that could quietly reshape their entire offseason, and most fans are not even connecting the dots yet. The hiring of Christian Parker is not just another assistant coach move that disappears in a press release. This is a signal. This is a philosophy shift. And if you really understand how the Cowboys operate, you know that when a new defensive voice comes into the building, the roster follows right behind him. Today, we're breaking down the top 10 free agent targets the Dallas Cowboys could realistically pursue after the Christian Parker hire. And yes, we're talking names that fit his system, his tendencies, and the exact holes on this roster right now. Names like Reed Blankenship, Singleton, and some sleepers that could absolutely shock the league if Dallas pulls the trigger. Christian Parker arrives in Dallas with a reputation that matters. He's known for developing defensive backs, emphasizing versatility, communication, and instincts over just raw athletic traits. That alone tells you the Cowboys are no longer satisfied with splashy talent that disappears in big moments. They want reliability. They want discipline. They want players who understand spacing, leverage, and situational football. And when you look at this Cowboys defense, especially after the late season collapses, the weaknesses are obvious. Missed tackles, poor angles, communication breakdowns, a lack of leadership when injuries hit. Parker was brought in to fix that, and he's not doing it with coaching alone. Let's start with the name that's already buzzing quietly around league circles, Reed Blankenship. This is not a flashy name. This is not a jersey-selling superstar. But this is exactly the type of safety Christian Parker loves. Blankenship is instinctive, physical without being reckless, and most importantly, he understands route concepts before they fully develop. With the Eagles, he's been asked to play multiple roles: deep safety, box defender, and occasional man coverage responsibilities against tight ends. That versatility is gold in today's NFL. The Cowboys' safety room has talent, but it lacks consistency. Injuries have forced Dallas to shuffle bodies back there, and when the games matter most, communication has been an issue. Blankenship brings calm. He brings reliability. He's not going to blow assignments, and Parker's track record suggests he could elevate Blankenship into a career-best version of himself in Dallas. Now let's talk about the linebacker position, because if you watched the Cowboys' defense last season and didn't feel uneasy every time a running back leaked into the flat, you weren't paying attention. Singleton is a name that fits this moment perfectly. Singleton is not a star, but he is a tackling machine. He plays downhill, diagnoses quickly, and brings leadership that shows up on film and in the locker room. Under Christian Parker, linebackers are expected to communicate constantly with the secondary. That's a big deal. Singleton has been the quarterback of defenses before. He sets fronts, adjusts alignments, and makes sure everyone is on the same page. Dallas has athletic linebackers, but what they lack is a stabilizer. Someone who doesn't disappear when the lights get bright. Singleton could be that guy. Another free agent target that makes sense is Jordan Whitehead. This is where Parker's defensive background really comes into play. Whitehead thrives in aggressive schemes that allow safeties to play downhill and disrupt timing. He's physical, he's experienced, and he's comfortable disguising coverages. The Cowboys' defense has been predictable at times, especially against veteran quarterbacks. Whitehead gives Parker a chess piece he can move around. He can blitz. He can cover. He can punish receivers crossing the middle. And most importantly, he brings edge. Dallas has been accused of being soft in critical moments. Whitehead doesn't play soft football. Now let's shift to the defensive line, because despite all the talent, the Cowboys still struggle to stop the run when it matters. One name that quietly fits is Shelby Harris. Harris isn't the type of player that dominates headlines, but he dominates responsibilities. He eats space. He controls gaps. And that's something Dallas desperately needs. Christian Parker's influence doesn't stop at the secondary. His defenses rely on linemen doing their jobs so the back seven can play fast. Harris allows Micah Parsons and others to play freely without worrying about getting washed out by double teams. Another linebacker that deserves serious consideration is Josey Jewell. Jewell is smart, disciplined, and assignment sound. He's not flashy, but he's exactly what Parker looks for. Jewell excels in zone coverage, understands spacing, and doesn't overcommit. If Dallas wants to get better against tight ends and running backs in the passing game, Jewell is a strong candidate. Pairing him with a more athletic linebacker could give Dallas the balance they've been missing. At cornerback, one name that makes sense is Steven Nelson. Nelson has bounced around the league, but he's consistently solid. He's experienced, understands route combinations, and can play both outside and in the slot. Christian Parker values corners who can think on the fly. Nelson isn't the fastest, but he's rarely out of position. Dallas has young corners, but depth has been an issue. Nelson gives them a veteran who won't panic in playoff moments. Now let's talk about a sleeper, Julian Blackmon. Blackmon is a safety who has flown under the radar due to injuries earlier in his career, but when healthy, he's a difference maker. He's versatile, instinctive, and plays with intelligence. Under Parker, Blackmon could be used in creative ways, rotating between deep coverage and box responsibilities. That kind of flexibility allows Dallas to disguise coverages better and confuse opposing quarterbacks. Another defensive line target worth mentioning is Daquan Jones. Jones is a classic run stuffer, and while that's not glamorous, it's necessary. The Cowboys have been gashed on the ground in crucial games. Jones brings physicality and toughness. He allows the linebackers to flow freely and keeps the defense from getting pushed around. At linebacker, don't sleep on Bobby Okereke if he becomes available or affordable. Okereke has size, speed, and coverage ability. He's the type of modern linebacker who fits Parker's emphasis on communication and versatility. Dallas has flirted with athletic linebackers before, but Okereke brings consistency and reliability that this defense needs. Finally, let's talk about a name that might surprise people, Mike Hilton. Yes, he's a corner, but he's more than that. Hilton is a defensive weapon. He blitzes, covers, tackles, and brings intensity. Christian Parker loves players who can do multiple things well. Hilton fits that mold perfectly. He would immediately upgrade Dallas's slot defense and add another layer of unpredictability. When you look at this list, a pattern emerges. These are not headline-chasing signings. These are system fits. These are players who think the game, communicate well, and elevate those around them. That's what Christian Parker brings to Dallas. He's not here to reinvent the wheel. He's here to refine it. The Cowboys are at a crossroads. They can continue chasing star power and hoping talent alone carries them, or they can build a smarter, tougher, more disciplined defense that doesn't collapse under pressure. The Christian Parker hire suggests they're leaning toward the latter. Free agency will tell the real story. And here's the thing Cowboys fans need to understand. This offseason is not about winning March headlines. It's about winning January games. It's about fixing the small cracks that become massive fractures in the playoffs. Players like Reed Blankenship and Alex Singleton might not trend on social media, but they win football games. If Dallas executes this plan correctly, this defense could take a major leap forward. Better communication, better tackling, better situational awareness. And when that happens, everything else changes. The offense gets more possessions. The pressure on the quarterback lessens. And suddenly, the Cowboys aren't just a regular season team anymore. Now I want to hear from you. Which free agent on this list would you want the Cowboys to sign first? Do you believe Christian Parker can unlock the next level of this defense? Or is Dallas still missing something bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and make sure you subscribe with notifications on because Cowboys free agency is just getting started and trust me, things are about to get very interesting.